guys, this is Dan Dix here from Press for Truth, and we are currently in downtown Toronto at Yonge and Dundas Square, along with members of TorontoTruthSeekers.com on the 9th anniversary of the September 11th attacks.
After seeing a lot of evidence, don't believe the official story of 9/11. I believe we've been lied to. There's enough evidence that we need another investigation, an independent investigation, unlike the commission that was basically railroaded, so we can get to the facts and find out who's really behind 9/11.
Well, I think it's really unfortunate that 9 years after the fact, we still have to come out here and do this. As time goes by, more people realize that these wars are all based on a lie, and that our youth are dying in these wars of conquest, which are not benefiting us in any way.
DVDs only cost like 25 cents to make. With YouTube, social networking, all that stuff, we've been able to expose 9/11, and a lot of people now all over the world know that 9/11 was an inside job. All you have to do is look at, a 10-second clip of Building 7 falling down, and you'll realize that, yeah, this was a controlled demolition. It's clear.
For the third time today, it's reminiscent of those pictures we've all seen too much on television before, when a building was deliberately destroyed by well-placed dynamite to knock it down.
They come out, blame some terrorists, false flag attack, and they get the people on their side to rally for whatever the hell they want.
What are you doing?
Handing out DVDs. You want one?
Of what?
This particular one is about false flag terror. How terrorism is used to manipulate the public.
Do you think we'll ever get a real investigation?
A real investigation into 9/11 has already happened. Plenty of architects, engineers, scientists, they've already investigated it. So we don't need some sort of official investigation. We know what happened. You can investigate it yourself. You can go online, go look on the internet, research it for yourself.
Given all of the recent information over the last 8 years that surfaced in contradiction to the official story of 9/11 and many 9/11 truth organizations that are calling for a new investigation before moving forward in building a common security perimeter, would you support the idea of a new investigation in 9/11 before channeling billions of dollars to build a common security perimeter based off of false information?
Well, I guess I'm not aware that new questions have emerged about what actually happened in 9/11. I've read the 9/11 Commission report, the report written by Lee Hamilton and Governor Kane. In the United States, and I frankly thought that they answered almost all the questions quite actively and quite well.
I think there were a lot of lessons learned on 9/11. Shooting down passenger planes was never part of NORAD's mandate. So I think calling them to scramble was not the first thing on anybody's minds. I mean, 9/11 was one of those events that nobody anticipated, and which changed the whole security paradigm.
Now, the only thing that dominated everything else was, of course, the security issue after 11/11.
9/11?
9/11, yeah.
Yeah.
9/11. So sorry, 9/11.
No, that's fine. You said that earlier. I was trying to think which date was 11.
Oh, 9/11. That was one of the biggest political shocks that has ever hit the United States. And it was in the wake of this that there were efforts to make sure that we have a common security perimeter. But it was almost exclusively focused on the idea of trying to keep out possible terrorists. But this is very difficult to do, because we still have, I don't really want to get into this. It really is not worth pursuing.
One thing that we did learn is that the United States is not satisfied that it is adequately secure.
We had 25 Canadians that day that died down there as well. So, I mean, given all of this new evidence, and I mean, the media keeps pushing and sidestepping the question and claiming conspiracy theory on it, but I mean, given scientifically proven evidence, would you support the push for a new investigation in Canada?
Well, first of all, I haven't seen any of this evidence. Secondly, it didn't happen in Canada, so I don't know how we would investigate something that happened in another country. If there's going to be an investigation, it's going to be the U.S. government that conducts it.
You guys are part of making history and paying respects and remembering those people who gave the ultimate sacrifice on that day, and that's going down there trying to help and rescue people. And I applaud you, and I thank you all so much for coming out here. You guys right now are second responders to the first responders here on 9/11. Everybody, let me just hear 3 words out of you. We are change! 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 Wall Street criminals! We're here not just one reason. Another reason why we're all here today is because the greed on Wall Street has costed the lives of 50,000 9/11 rescue workers. It is the greed of Wall Street and their eagerness to open it up, whether or not the air was safe or not, that ruined 50,000 lives of our proud men and women in the service industry. We are here because we are not silent about that crime. We are here to voice our aggression against these Wall Street banksters who cared more about making a profit than they did about human lives on that day of 9/11. Remember why you're all here. You are here for all the people that can't be here anymore. You are here from all the first responders that died after 9/11.
And they're still dying.
And are still dying here today. You are here because we are doing charity events and raising money for all those guys. I am very proud to have all of you guys here. You guys are my family. You guys are my friends. You guys are my companions in this info war. And we will be successful one way or another because there is no defeat in our hearts. Whether it's raining, whether it's cold or miserable, we are still out here because we love this country, we love this flag, and we love our freedoms, and we're not going away.
Given all of the new evidence, both scientific and testimonial, that surfaced since the attacks of 9/11, that directly contradicts the official story, including 2 recently released peer-reviewed journals from a physicist named Stephen Jones, who's irrefutably identified unexploded thermite in the dust of the World Trade Center, which is a military incendiary complex, and also given the fact that 60% of the original commissioners have stated that the original investigation was a cover-up and 70% of the questions weren't even answered during the investigation. Would you support the push for a new investigation into 9/11 before channeling billions of dollars towards a new security perimeter, just to make sure that we get the proper information?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily link the two. I think if there is reason to have another thorough investigation of 9/11, then you should have another thorough investigation of 9/11. That's not a problem as far as I'm concerned. This is not because of this or that conclusion about what happened on 9/11. It's because there's a perceived and I think real threat, and the United States is going to deal with it. So
and there's some films in there actually that I bought. I was given them down in New York, and I thought maybe these would be
terrific.
One of them is called 9/11 Mysteries. Second one is 9/11 Press for Truth. It's the first documentary by the victims' families that actually pushed for a new investigation, and very, very interesting film. And the third one is a Canadian film actually on the SPP and issues like that called The Nation's Deathbed that I saw that you might want to give a watch.
Okay, well, thank you.
There are at least 10,000 people who have gathered here for a range of issues, everything from anti-war to the environment. Labor groups are here, a number of various ethnic groups. There are so many people here all gathered to protest the G20. I want to bring in one guest here who's Zoe Caron from WWF Canada, and your issue is the environment, and climate change hasn't really been on the agenda here. So what do you have to say to the G8 and G20 leaders?
Well, it's the first time in a very long time that climate change has been pushed off of the agenda. We're hoping that countries will be coming out with their commitments. India came out yesterday, big deal. They said they're going to phase out their subsidies to oil and gas. U.S. is pushing it really hard. They're going to save $54 billion in the next 5 years by phasing out those same subsidies. So we're hoping Canada will follow suit. We have $2 billion a year in those subsidies, and then we can transition those funds to go towards renewable energy and climate change funds.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Good luck with your protest this week. So, Peter, there you have it. The crowd is just marshalling. They just finished up the speeches here. So the crowd is just marshalling now. They're going to head south on University Avenue towards the fence where the summit site is, but they're going to stop a few blocks away and head west before circling around.